This new year, we're gathering at your sister's apartment, my mom announced in the family group chat. There's no space for you or your children. Then my sister texted, but drop the kids with a sitter and come handle dinner, like always. My dad chimed in, and don't guilt trip us. We still expect our presence. I didn't lash out, I just absorbed it. My name's Leo. I'm 33, a chef, and the eldest in a family where food is sacred, and I'm the unpaid minister. I operate a modest kitchen stall in a bustling market hall. I'm up at dawn, dicing onions until my eyes sting, coming home with hands scented of thyme. I've got 2 kids, Maya 7, who tallies the bubbles in pancake batter, and Eli 5, who snatches cherry tomatoes like he's pulling off a caper. Their mom and I parted ways when Eli was 2. Most days, it's just us. I pack their lunches in deli containers, labeled with masking tape notes like *Maya, don't swap for a wilted celery stick *. In our family, I'm the dependable one, great for photos, but in reality, I'm the designated fix-it guy. If there's a task, it's mine. If someone forgets something, it's my crisis. If there's a celebration, I'm the cook, cleaner, organizer, and the guy who gets a pat on the back with, "We can't pay you, we're family." My sister Val, 29, is the family's darling. She's an interior designer with an Instagram like a glossy magazine. Mom calls her our gem, which is ironic since gems are just rocks polished to dazzle from afar. That's Val, stunning, untouchable, bending everyone else's path to orbit her. I wasn't always the errand boy. As a kid, I was the quiet one, stirring soups and reading cookbooks like they were adventure novels. Dad would say, "Real men barbecue, Leo *", then chuckle when I adjusted his grill heat and his burgers came out tough. I learned early that praise in our house was rare and usually had Val's name on it. "Your sister has such flair *", Mom would say, admiring a curtain Val picked like it was art. "Leo, don't fuss over that broth." I wasn't fussing, but I'd rethink it anyway. Becoming a chef felt right. Food doesn't lie, it reflects your effort. It doesn't charm you while keeping a hidden tally of favors. At my first-line cook job, no one cared about my feelings, they cared if my sauce held. I loved that. I loved the sear on my arm from the oven's heat. It was evidence of my work. Still, I tried to be the dutiful son. I fixed Mom's leaky faucet with a paperclip. I drove Dad to his heart checkup and slipped him a proper espresso after. I hung Val's crooked shelves when she couldn't be bothered. I cooked for birthdays and random gatherings, which meant Val invited too many people, and Mom's freaking out *. "Leo, can you make something quick?" Mom would ask, already unzipping my bag because she knew I brought my knives. I wasn't planning to cook, I'd say. "You're so gifted, sweetheart." And that was that. I'd be in their kitchen, sweating, while Val posed for photos in the soft glow. The moment that still burns happened last autumn at a Sunday dinner. I'd brought Maya and Eli, who had colds, and made a pot of chicken noodle soup. We ate, and it felt warm for a moment, spoons clattering, Eli digging for the fattest noodle like he was treasure hunting. Then Mom said, "Leo, next time maybe something more refined. Val's friends expect elevated dishes." I set my spoon down. "It's soup for sick kids," Val smirked. "Don't take it personally, we adore your cooking." Dad added, "Work on your presentation. People judge with their eyes." Maya whispered, "I love Daddy's soup *", and squeezed my hand under the table. I smiled at her, voice steady. "Got it." That night, after tucking the kids in and folding their tiny shirts into neat stacks, I scrubbed my counter and stood there, sponge in hand, tasting Mom's words, more refined *, like a bitter seed. I didn't know it then, but that was the first spark. The second would come later, in a message. First, there were years of quiet demands, subtle jabs, and the kind of family accounting that pretends debts aren't debts because they come with a smiley face. It started in my 20s. I was the first to leave home, working late shifts, realizing be there for family * meant, "Leo will handle it *. Can you cover $200 for the party?" Mom texted one November when I was a line cook earning $13.50 an hour. "I'll pay you back Tuesday." Tuesday passed, no money. The next week, Dad asked for a pork roast for the mood *. I calculated, $18 for the meat, $10 for herbs, 5 hours of slow cooking I couldn't charge for. "We'll square up later," he said. "It's family." Later never arrived. Instead, Mom shared a photo of Val sipping a craft cocktail, captioned "So grateful *". When my kids came along, the requests shifted but didn't light. "You're so fortunate," Mom would say when I arrived with Eli in a carrier and 2 pans of casserole. Fortune didn't make casseroles. It took hours and a sink full of dishes. But no one wants a chef whining about cooking. It's like a firefighter complaining about smoke. Val's requests were always pitched as favors to me. "Babe, I'm throwing a showcase," she'd call, voice bright. "Can you do small plates? Something stunning but cheap. No garlic, onions, or cheese. Low carb too. That's just air," I'd say. She'd laugh, "You're so funny." 6 p.m. The worst was New Year's 5 years ago. I'd saved $50 for a new oven for my stall, $2,600 total needed. Mom asked for a few items for New Year's Eve. A few * became a menu fit for a wedding. 5 starters, 3 entrees, 2 desserts. Who's covering ingredients? I asked, neutral. We'll pay you back, Mom said. Holidays are tight. I spent $398.42 from my pocket and kept the receipt like a talisman. On January 1, I texted a photo of it. Mom liked the message and wrote, * will settle after Dad's raise. The raise funded Val's spa weekend. The receipt taught me a truth. It wasn't just cash. It was time I could have spent resting instead of dozing on the bus. Or with my kids, who counted how often I said hold on * like it was a contest. The slights stacked like dough layers. Leo, move your car, Val would say at her own event, mid-plating. Guests have better ones. Leo, don't touch the fancy knives, Dad would say as I carved paper-thin beef. They're for show. One summer, I said I couldn't make a cookout. I'd promised Maya a zoo trip. Mom replied, family first. I stared at her text, then at Maya's tiny lion backpack, and chose the zoo. That earned me 4 days of silence then. We forgive you. Next time, give us a heads up so we can plan the food. Plan the food * meant plan Leo *. There were loans that weren't loans. $180 for * quick gap *. $120 until Monday *. $90 because Val's client is late. I tracked it in my phone, dates, amounts, like I was balancing a register for a job I didn't sign up for. Over 4 years, it reached $39.18. I never spoke the number aloud, saying it would make it real, and real would make me mad, and mad would make me the issue. When I tried to talk, it slid away. Mom, about the receipts. We're good for it, she'd say, like trust was payment. Dad, I can't do the next event, I'm swamped. You'll manage, you always do. Val, I need a budget for those plates. I'll shout you out online, she'd say. Exposure, babe. The moment I saw I was being used wasn't a big revelation. It was a Monday evening, alone in my apartment, kids at their mom's. I sat with bills, orders, and a container of cold grilled chicken. I opened my notes app, tallied the family debt, and didn't soften the numbers. I added the gas I hadn't billed, the sitter I hired to cook at Val's, the platter I replaced when Mom's friend broke it and giggled. The total hit $43.22. I breathed out slowly, hearing the radiator hum like a heartbeat. I heard my own voice, the one I use with my cooks when an order's wrong. We own our decisions. I closed the app and started a new note titled Limits. I won't fund family gatherings. I won't cook for free. My kids are priority 1. Always, no is enough. I wish I'd sent it right then, but families are tangled. The next morning, Mom called. We're planning a small Thanksgiving. Can you handle the turkey and some sides? How many people? I asked. Just a few, she said, code for 25. What's the budget? Silence. Then don't be tacky. Budgets aren't tacky, I said. They're grown up. She sighed like I'd let her down by growing a backbone. We'll talk soon. Soon became the group chat that cracked everything open. The words were sharp and clear, like a note on the last piece of pie. They wanted more. They always did. But the real shift came not from a text, but from the night their requests became a command. And I finally presented the tab. New Year's Eve, at Val's new place. A * loft *, she called it, though it was just a 2-bedroom with tall ceilings and plants named things like Basil and Luna. The plan, per Mom, was cozy but festive *. In our family, *cozy * means invite half the city. At 11 a.m., my phone lit up with the group chat. The words hit like frost. This new year, we're at your sister's. No room for you or your kids, Mom wrote. Val added, but leave the kids with a sitter and cook dinner, like usual. Dad piled on, and don't make us feel bad. We still want our gifts. I stared at the screen, throat tight, like bread pulled too soon, pale, unfinished, but someone's impatient, and you're exhausted. I didn't respond yet. I packed Maya and Eli's overnight bags for their moms, tossing in a makeshift New Year's kit, paper whistles, hats, a clock I sketched on a paper plate. We did our countdown at 4 p.m. in my living room. 10, 9, 8. Maya shouted like the neighbors needed to know. I kissed their foreheads, handed them to their mom, and drove to Val's because old habits cling tight. The elevator opened to chatter and clinking glasses. I smelled cologne, lemon, and the sharp heat of an oven misused. Leo, Val said, brushing a kiss near my face. You're here. The kitchen's a mess. I'm a guest, I said, calm. She laughed, tossed her hair. You're a riot. Mom's in the den. I walked in. Mom looked at me like I was a late shipment. Dad was slouched, scrolling his phone. Coats are in the spare room, Mom said. Can you start the appetizers? The oven's off, too hot or too cold, something's wrong. I'm not cooking, I said, voice even, like telling a supplier they sent spoiled fish. She blinked. What? I'm here for an hour as a guest. I declined catering. Dad looked up. Don't start. I pulled a folder from my bag and set it on the counter. Inside was an invoice, plain and clear. New Year's catering, menu included. Labor, 8 hours at $40 hour. Ingredients, $325, $475. Total, $645, $795. Terms, 50% deposit, net 10. Val laughed sharp. Is this a prank? No, I said. It's a limit. Leo, Mom whispered, voice taut. Don't humiliate us. A cousin paused mid-sip, sensing drama. I kept my tone steady. You said there's no room for my kids, but room for my work. That's not my life. Stop being theatrical, Dad said. It's one night. It's not one night, I said, meeting his gaze. It's years. It's $43.22 in unpaid promises. It's being told to ditch my kids to cook for free. It's being asked for gifts while you sideline me. Val crossed her arms. You're making this about cash. No, I said. You are. You make it about my cash, my hours, my skill. I'm making it about dignity. The room stilled, like when the music stops and everyone hears the silence beneath. Aunt Leela stepped in gentle. Sweetie, can't you pitch in a bit? No, I said, not like this. Mom's eyes narrowed. After all we've done for you, I raised a hand. This isn't payback, it's resolution. Dad snorted. Resolution? For what? For being your errand boy, I said. For you using family to get free work. For being told my kids don't fit, but my hands do. Val stepped closer, voice low. You're wrecking my party. I glanced at the counter, littered with half-chopped vegetables. Your party was built on someone you don't value. I thought Dad might shout. Instead, he leaned back. If you leave, don't come back, I nodded. That's a limit too. Mom hissed, at least don't cause a scene. I'm being quiet, I said, and I was. My pulse was steady, like plating a dish I'd rehearsed forever. I grabbed my jacket, left the invoice on the counter like a peace offering with numbers, and walked out. The elevator doors shut. In the metal's reflection, I saw my face worn but firm. At midnight, while others celebrated, I sat with a bowl of leftover stew and texted, Happy New Year * to the 2 people who own my free work forever. January 1 brought 19 missed calls. By noon, 38. 4 voicemails from Mom, icy to weepy to wistful. 3 from Dad, call me, act your age. 8 texts from Val, a photo of a soggy quiche, a clip of champagne toasts. A rant about how my *vibe* ruined her night, and 1 line. Apologized to Mom. I set my phone down and made waffles with the kids when they returned. Happy New Year, take 2, I said. We ate in a blanket fort. On January 3, Aunt Leela sent a long text starting with I love you and ending with just help them this time. I drafted 5 replies, then sent. I'm not discussing this in group chats. If Mom and Dad want to talk respectfully about what's next, I'll listen. No more fights about what's done. I braced for silence. Instead, I got escalation masked as worry. Mom, we're concerned about you. Me, I'm okay. Mom, you've always been emotional. This isn't healthy. Me, my limits are healthy. Dad, your mother's a mess. Me, I'm sorry to hear that. Dad, we're let down. Me, I understand. Val posted on Instagram, thankful for a magical new year with family. Slide 4 showed the quiche I didn't save. Slide 6, Mom's eyes too shiny. Caption, some prioritize themselves over others. I didn't bite. I muted notifications and went to work. At the stall, life felt steady. A regular ordered her usual turkey sandwich and said it tasted like home. A kid asked about becoming a chef and which pans to buy. Ones you'll clean, I said. It almost drowned out my phone's hum. On January 5, Val emailed a spreadsheet, *Leo's contributions *, listing family events with columns for ingredient costs, standard rates, and credit for visibility. The final cell deducted fake social media value from real hours and claimed I owed them thanks. I stared, then closed it. I replied, please send invoices for any services you believe you provided. I'll do the same, and I did. I sent an invoice for $43.22 labeled past reimbursements and labor. Terms, net 30. Note, my availability is limited. Bookings need deposits. My kids are non-negotiable. It felt stark, but not cruel, just clear. Mom called instantly. This a joke? No, I said. You're billing your family. I'm collecting what you agreed to. That's not how family works. Family doesn't demand I hide my kids or work for nothing. You're hurting us. This isn't about pain. It's about settling. She tried a new angle. We'll talk when you're reasonable. I'm reasonable now. Click. The next week was a gauntlet of *chance encounters. Dad stopped by my stall, just passing through *, and said, loud enough for customers to hear, so you're sticking to this. I smiled. What can I start for you? He left without a word. Val dropped a bag at my door with gifts I'd given her kids, blocks, storybooks, a scarf with tiny planes. Note, until you say sorry. I boxed them up, drove to a children's shelter, and donated them in Maya and Eli's names. On the receipt, I wrote, from Maya and Eli. Enjoy. The market manager cornered me one day. You okay, Leo? Your dad was here. Seemed upset. I'm managing, I said. At home, the quiet felt new, not hollow, just open. I started doing things I'd skipped. I attended a school conference without rushing out. I showed Maya how to whisk batter without lumps. She spilled half and laughed like it was a victory. Eli wore my chef's hat and said, Chef Eli, ready. I nearly teared up over a cutting board. I started jogging by the lake twice a week, not fast, just consistent, and stopped chugging coffee at midnight to stay awake. The calls slowed but didn't stop. The tone shifted from anger to persuasion to nostalgia. Mom, remember when you made toast for Val after school? Me, yes, Mom. You were such a good brother. Me, I still am, just not a pushover. Silence. Then came the money move. Dad texted, "Your invoice is absurd. We've helped you too." Like what? I asked. Rides, support, family. I sent a revised invoice with proof, text where mom wrote, "We'll pay back." I included a page of credits. Gas I didn't charge, hours I undercounted, a pie I let slide because it was for Nana, who I adored. New total, $4012. I hit send. On day 28, mom texted, "Can we have more time?" "Yes," I replied. Net 60, she sent a smiley. Then, "Please bring a dessert for Aunt Leela's birthday Sunday. It'd mean so much." "No," I wrote. "I'll come with the kids for an hour. It's a formal dinner, no kids." Then I'm out, she didn't answer. I went anyway. Aunt Leela's always been warm. I brought a bouquet and my kids. We stayed an hour. When mom nudged me toward the kitchen with a stack of dishes, I said, "I'm not working tonight," and went back to drawing sharks with Eli. In the car, Maya asked, "Are we in trouble?" "No, love," I said. "We're trying something new. It feels strange at first." On day 44, Val emailed a catering company link, subject, "Since you're unavailable," I replied, "Solid pick. Their prices are fair, book early." On day 60, a check arrived, $1,400 with a note. Good faith, I photographed it beside the invoice and texted, "Received $1,400, balance $2612, net 30. I felt silly and awake at once. Then something unexpected happened. Mom texted, "No emojis, I miss the kids. Can we visit Saturday? No cooking, just us." 2 hours my place, I wrote. "We'll get pizza." "Bring a game." They came. It was tense for 10 minutes. Then Eli cracked Dad up with a bad carrot joke. Mom brought a board game and only fussed about Eli's moves once. When they left, Mom hugged me, rigid, and said, "You're hard-headed." "I got it from you," I said. We both smiled, cautious. The rest of the money came a week later. A bank check, no note, just digits. I banked it and deleted the Tally app. I didn't feel victorious, just even. The next invite was a spring brunch. "We'd love to host something small. You and the kids are welcome. No work needed. Bring yourself if you want." I was skeptical but went, with bakery muffins because a little spite tastes sweet. Val stood by the window, mimosa in hand, and said, "You're different." "Not really," I said. "I just stopped paying for the same mistake." She rolled her eyes. "You think you're above us. I think I'm kinder to myself." She didn't like it but didn't hand me a spatula either. That night, after bedtime stories, I sat at my menu planning table and wrote a new list. Routine *, drop-offs without sprinting. Jog 3 miles, stretch, drink water. Stocktake Wednesdays, not at 1 am. Sundays, waffles, fort rest. Limits, keep them simple. And because I'm a chef, teach Maya Hollandaise. Show Eli to add sprinkles last. The phone still pings. I still say no, not mad, just firm. The calls are starting to ask normal things like, "What time's the school play?" Or *, "Can we have the kids Friday?" That's not a miracle. It's a new dish I'm measuring carefully. Some evenings, I think of Val's CR. Some evenings, I think of Val's cramped oven or Mom's voice thinning when I refused. It doesn't excite me, it grounds me. Kitchens aren't just about heat, they're about rhythm. This was mine. Life didn't change overnight, it just aligned. My name is Leo. I'm 33, a chef, a father. I learned to value my time, to say no without shame, to let silence hold when truth speaks. The $4012 isn't a scar anymore, it's a line I don't step over. Val still posts flawless grids. Mom still says be kind, Dad still barbecues. But now they ask, what's good for you? Sometimes my answer is nothing. My kids learn no doesn't mean you stop caring. Eli said, limits are like chef hats. You wear them to stay safe. I thought he gets it. Here's the recipe, write the tab, set the clock, serve only what's yours. If they say there's no room for you or your kids, build your own table. Then sit and eat.